Introducing National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk programming that you can access 24/7. For the premier sports talk experience, tap into our Roku channel. Start your mornings with Mac and Jack covering all the weekend sports action. Then pour a cup and enjoy all the sports you can drink on the Coffee and Sports podcast. At midday, talk sports from east to west on the Coast to Coast podcast. Followed at night by some hot girl talk with Prim and Proper Sports featuring Sonia Pearson. Talk boxing on the Gloved Fist. Yankee fans tune in for Start Spreading the News. And there's more on the College Sports Huddle and Sports Scope with Robert Butler. There are 20 podcasts in all and 70 weekly shows giving us a 3.4-star viewer rating. To find us on Roku TV, search for National Streaming Sports on the Roku search bar. Click on the logo and you're in. National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk for America.
Welcome back, family, back to another exciting episode of sports adventure, whatever you want to call it. Friday night with the fellas at the end of the week is myself, James J. Train, and my man right next to me, Kev-O. Tonight we're missing the fabulous Sonia Pearson. Welcome to Friday night with the fellas. We are on Roku, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you could think, Rick Rock, whatever. I'm losing my mind tonight. Friday night. Look, I'm so glad we're here tonight, man. Look, shout out to Sonia. It's her birthday. Happy birthday to our big sis. She's only a big sis for me for about a couple of months. Kev, I think she got you for about a few years. I don't know how much that is. I'm not going to say her age online. But I will say she is celebrating a decade birthday. So it's a special one. Anybody out there that knows Sonia, you give her a shout out for her birthday. She's out in Hawaii enjoying herself. Love to your sister. We hope you're living it up out there right now. But right now, we about to live it up tonight on the show. Look, man, Kev-O. Again, anybody out there, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. This is the best show for football, the best show for sports. Anything, any news we got about sports, we're going to give it to you. We're going to bring it to you. Like X going to bring it to you. What? I'm live tonight, yeah, bro. Look, because I got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. Football, we had a great season of football.
Oh, yeah.
We a lot of things, expectations went some people's way. For you and myself, it didn't go our way. Went a little bit further for you. But look, 2025 is another year, another roundup. I think everybody's going to get themselves together, collect themselves. But right now, let's talk about the matchup. That's the end of the year. That's the best time of the year. It's the Super Bowl year. Look, Kansas City versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not going to lie to you, Kev. August 31st, 2024. When I had to turn my picks in, I picked Kansas City versus the Philadelphia Eagles, and I picked the Philadelphia Eagles to beat them in the Super Bowl 2025. What do you think, my brother?
I mean, it's tough to go against that man, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I felt like he was going. Of course, my picks didn't pan out. You know, I picked the Lions and I picked the Ravens in the beginning of the year. So, of course, they both plummeted in that, with the divisional round. So, I look at this Super Bowl, it's going to be, it's going to be that Kansas City offense. What are they going to do against the number one defense in the league? Are they going to be able to score those points? Are they going to be able to – are the refs going to help them out like people have been saying?
Here we go. Here we go.
Personally, I don't think, like, as much as people are trying to sit here and say it's the refs, I can't sit here and put it too much on the rest. I gotta put it on, who you going up against. Like, the refs, that last play where Josh Allen, they blitzed. That's not the referees. You just gotta make that play, unfortunately. And the tight end dropped the ball.
Yes.
You can't blame the
I
referees
will.
for that.
I will concede to that. I will concede. We had a discussion on the Big Football Show this past Sunday, and also on the Professional Sports Show Wednesday night, and this conversation came up again about the refs. And one thing I will say, yes, I agree with you. I agree with my counterparts on those shows that you have to come to play. You got to come to play no matter what. You can't just let a couple of plays determine your outcome of the game, and you determine your outcome of your future. But I will say this: I'm going to pinpoint back to the game, Kansas City versus Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Those two calls, the roughing the passers, first of all they were bad calls.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
But they were third down calls, and they continued drives, the two drives that led to 10 points total. Before those two drives, the score was 13-12. Houston was in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Those you're playing in someone else's backyard, and you're matching their energy, but ultimately your energy just gets deflated. The wind from your sail just disappears because somebody else that wasn't a part of the game took it from them. Now, mind you, they still had opportunities, but that could be deflating. You don't think so?
It can be a little bit, but let me go back to the 2016-2017 season when the Falcons was playing the Patriots in the Super Bowl. They called 2 consecutive holding penalties against Jake Matthews. Nobody cared about that. No, nobody cares about that. So it's like I said, you have to go out there and win the game. They called 2 consecutive holding penalties after Julio made that big catch. Basically kicked us out of field goal range. Then Matt Ryan took that sack, and then basically we had to punt. They talking about, you should have ran the ball. You should have run. Yeah, we would have ran the ball if we weren't so far behind in the sticks. But nobody really cares about.
But were those calls after the 28-3?
Nope.
Or before?
Remember that Julio catch? The Julio catch. Remember we made that spectacular
That
catch
was before or after 28-3?
We were right there. We were right there in field goal range. Julio made that catch.
You're not going to answer my question. Was that before or after 28-3?
We were still up. We were up a touchdown.
I'm just saying, but at the same time, you had a substantial lead. That's a big difference.
A substantial lead, but you also had an opportunity to ice the game with a field goal right there. You were up 7. You could have iced the game. No matter of fact, you were up 8. You could have iced the game with a field goal, but you called 2 holding penalties to the point where you got back 10 yards. You went back another 10 yards, and then Matt Ryan gets sacked. So now you're out of field goal range. Now you have to pack. Now you're punting instead of kicking a field goal just to ice the game. Whether it was kneeing or not, you called 2 consecutive holding penalties.
Well, neither here nor there.
But that's my point exactly. You can't. But that's what I'm saying. You can't sit here and blame the referees. You got to go out there and still play the game. True. We can agree on that. I agree. Nobody remembers the penalties. They just remember, that's how they came. That's how they won the game. They won the game.
You lost, right? Exactly.
You lost. You blew a 28-point lead, right. 25-point lead.
And like Nelly said, I'm gonna quote one of his old songs. What does it take to be number 1? 2 is not a winner, and 3 nobody remembers. Because most times when you hear a football game, I mean, if you a football junkie like us, we're gonna know who they played against. But most people don't remember the AFC Championship losers or the NFC Championship losers. You just remember who won the Super Bowl and who they beat. Most times you don't even remember who they beat. You just remember the winners.
And that's my point exactly. Don't nobody care about what the referees did. They just remember, oh, that part that team that won, no matter what, they don't care.
Absolutely. Well, while we're talking about this, let's go into the matchups. Patrick Mahomes, man, the man to beat. He's always been the man to beat since he's been in the league, and he's got 3 championships. And right now, he's trying to get 3 in a row. First time they ever do it for Kansas City Chiefs if they can win this upcoming, not upcoming Sunday, but the following Sunday on February 9th in New Orleans in the Big Easy.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to go up against a really good defensive line with Jalen Carter leading that line. What do you think about that matchup with their offensive line? Not as great as they could be. What does Patrick Mahomes hold up against that defensive line with Jordan Davis, with the Jeagles? Let's say Georgia's the NFL version of Georgia.
I mean the middle two with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. I look at the tackles, Trey Smith and I forget the other tackle. I know they got Humphreys in the middle, Creed Humphrey. They got Trey Smith. I forget what their other guard's name because I know they kicked out their left guard to the left tackle, Joe Thuney, and they put somebody else there at the guard position. So I don't know. So I'm looking at this offensive line versus this defensive line, and I'm just looking at how Patrick Mahomes is gonna get that ball out of his hand. Andy Reid is gonna make sure Patrick Mahomes gets that ball out of his hand. What they're not gonna do is they're not gonna try to force stuff up the middle. They're gonna try to go on the outside. But my man Nolan Smith, man, he been solid, out of Georgia too. So
absolutely,
that offensive line, they could hold up. But I look at the skill positions and how these corners, like the Slay kid, Darius Slay, the Mitchell, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, how are they gonna hold up? And they've been solid all year. I'm not gonna say
they're great. I mean, we're gonna talk about the awards, and these 2 guys are up for awards. These 2 guys are up for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, how is that gonna hold up? I mean, even the boy Charlie Gardner Johnson, how is he gonna hold up against Travis Kelce? That's a big matchup. I'm ready to see come Sunday. Next Sunday.
I always find it so strange how Andy Reid is a genius because how is Travis Kelce always wide open up the middle? I mean, like when I look at it, man, he's up the middle. Nobody's within 10 yards of him, and he's catching the ball, man. And he's not that fast anymore. I mean, it's got to be the matchup. It's got to be what Andy Reid's doing. It's got to be something that they're finding the ways to get him wide open. I mean, but I don't say that. Just wide open.
Yeah, them little. Because what you can't do, you can't play zone. You can't play zone against a tight end like Travis Kelce because he's gonna find that void in the zone. And then when Patrick Mahomes start improvising and stuff like that, he knows how to just get in that position to be wide open. You be sitting there like, man, how you get that open? Because he know how to find that void in the zone where he know his man gonna find him. And they, that's just that chemistry that they've had, for the last 6-7 years, ever since Patrick Mahomes been in the league. He still got him 3 Super Bowls.
This is a rematch, though. This is a rematch from 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And that game was close, 38-35, man. It was a very close game. I think that one fumble is what really changed the game. Other than that fumble, Jalen Hurts had a phenomenal game that game. He just didn't. The person who had the ball last is what won the game. And look, I think that the matchup really is going to be. It's going to be Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts, what they can offensively, what they can do against Chris Jones and that defensive line.
Oh yeah.
Do they have to throw the ball? I think so. I think they do have to throw the ball because running won't just get it done. I think defensively they're going to try to find ways to put 8 in the box, and they're going to force Jalen Hurts to throw the ball. They want him to throw the ball because I mean, if you look at the last game against the Washington Commanders, Jalen Hurts did throw the ball. They found ways to get open, and they exposed Marshawn Lattimore big time, man. And I was like, I'm like, hey, Saints won that trade then, it looked like, because it was the reason why we got rid of him. He's been all pro, and he's been a Pro Bowler for a long time, but for the past few years, he's been hurt, and he hasn't been like the same Marshawn like he has before. Maybe he'll bounce back because he was hurt this year too as well. But they exposed him. Can they do the same thing to Trent McDuffie? Because I saw a few things with Trent. Trent, like he got kind of exposed too against Buffalo, and he was getting burnt on some plays. Can the Eagles with AJ Brown, who's a dog in the position, if he can get open, and they got Devontae Smith, and they got what's the tight end's name? I can't think of his name.
Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert, yes. And then coming out of backfield, Saquon Barkley as well. Yeah. They're going to have quite a few matchups that's going to, at least somebody's got to get open. So the key factor is going to have to be Jalen Hurts. He's going to have to make sure he takes care of the ball and get one of those guys, because they can't win the game without Jalen Hurts being on his A game. They can't.
Oh, I definitely agree. And then the blitz too, Steve Spagnuolo. When he dials up that timely blitz is what I'm looking at. I don't see a lot of situations where the Eagles are going to be in 3rd and long, but there might be a situation where they are. So
yeah,
he has to anticipate. Okay, where is this blitz coming? When is he going to sit in that corner? Because that corner blitz is going to come at some point. That corner blitz or that safety blitz is going to come. And he's going to have to be ready for it. And are they going to pick it up? Is Saquon going to be able to make that, because it was a holding penalty that they didn't call against Saquon last week. A lot of people don't remember that, against Louisville. And they even said it in the broadcast. Kansas City, them as we know, the referee's not going to miss it for Kansas City. So, right. So got to make sure you're able to pick up that blitz and don't get in situations where
I do remember that. You're right. In the championship game, Saquon got caught with he didn't get caught. He should have got caught with a hold.
He should have got caught. And that was the long pass to AJ Brown.
Absolutely. Yep. So I do remember that. Yep.
Playing Kansas City,
but at the same time, like you said, that one call shouldn't have been. That wasn't a determining factor for the outcome of the game. All fronts, they just got beat.
They got smacked. They got. I mean, they were. Yeah. They definitely, beat. But I'm just saying, you just know it's just those key moments in the game where you're gonna have that big play. They might mess around and call a penalty, and that's when people are gonna talk about the refs. How are you gonna be able to overcome that mentally? Because you can't sit here and be like, "Oh, the referee." No, you can't. You got next play. Let's get it back. Let's find a way to get it back.
Right.
Once you start thinking about the refs and stuff like that, you lost. You lost.
Absolutely. And you can hear that in the voices of like some of the players of Houston in the post game. They brought the refs up automatically. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Even during the game where the referees were affecting them so much mentally that it was like, okay, now I can't even focus on the next play, because I'm still thinking about that previous play that they missed, or that previous play that, oh no, that wasn't the right call. You gotta go on to the next play. I get it, it sucks, but you have to go on to the next play.
Right. I agree. Well, since we're here and we talked about the matchups, who do you pick and why? As your winner, my apologies. Who do you pick as your winner and why?
People are not gonna like this pick, but I like Kansas City. I mean, I cannot see them lose. I just cannot see them lose. Now, don't get me wrong. The Eagles the Eagles could win for sure, but it's like we all have seen this movie. We've seen this movie so many times, and we're trying to see here like, oh no, it's not going to end like that. It's not going to end like that. But we know what the movie's going to end like. You know what I'm saying? So I like Kansas City. I think it's going to be a great game, but I like Kansas City to win this game. I mean, I betted against them last year. I won money with them the year before. I don't know what made me think like, oh, they're going to lose this game. Even if people say it is a rematch. It was a rematch last year, from the previous Super Bowl, that first Super Bowl they won. This is a rematch too from the second Super Bowl they won. So guess what? I like this movie again. I like Kansas City to go in here, and I like Kansas City to win this game.
Shout out to Pink Fan first. She says the Eagles has one job, And Pink Fanfare, I am with you. I picked the Eagles in August of last year, and they got there. And the reason why I picked them, the main reason is because of Saquon Barkley. And also they have a new offensive coordinator. Last year they weren't all that great. They lost 5 straight at the end, got to the playoffs, got beat by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and looked like a totally different team. They looked more so even better than the team they were when they went to the Super Bowl back in 2022. So I like the Eagles to play a very close game. Kansas City has been playing a close game, but the Eagles got to be dominant. They got to come out fast. They can't let Kansas City stay in the game because that dude, number 15, will hurt you. He will hurt you permanently, and he's trying to get something that nobody's ever done in the league, and that's get 3 in a row. And I just don't think it's going to happen. I think the Eagles, Saquon Barkley is hungry too. I think he wants his first championship. Ain't no telling when he can get back here. I think he's going to come out here and be a dog in this game. And I think he'll get him. He's been getting him at least $150 every game in the playoffs. I think he'll get him $150 in this one with 2 touchdowns. And I'm taking Saquon Barkley and the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl, and Saquon Barkley being my MVP. Who you got for your MVP since you picked Kansas City? Who would you pick as your MVP?
15.
Yeah, I figured as much. It's like nobody else. You can't pick nobody else on that team. Because let me tell you this: I don't think Kareem Hunt is going to get anything against that defense.
I don't think so either.
So it's going to have to be on 15. It's really going to have to be on 15 to come out and just work magic to win that game. And they played a really good close game against San Francisco last year. It's crazy because the last 2 teams have been San Francisco and the Eagles, like back to back, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I think the movie stopped right here. I think that movie's about to change, man. It's about to be a surprise. It's going to be a surprise ending on this one.
I'm hoping it does. But one thing I want people to realize is enjoy it. I understand Kansas City, they're not everybody's favorite, but enjoy it. We have never seen a three-peat in the NFL, I don't believe. I mean, we have never seen it. Enjoy this ride because you'll never probably see this ever again. So,
but you got to realize, Kev-O, and let's give a shout out to Tasha Mika. Forgive me if I mess your name up, nice lady. Tasha Mika Das Howard. Good evening. Good evening to you. I hope you're doing well out there, wherever you are, where you come chiming in from. Let us know where you're chiming in from so we can give a shout out to your city. Look, you gotta recognize that everybody's not going to enjoy this moment if Kansas City wins because Kansas City is the empire. They're Darth Vader and the empire to some people. Some people want.
I didn't enjoy the Patriots run. I didn't.
They were an evil empire.
Nobody enjoyed the Patriots run. There were certain people that did. But
A-Train enjoyed it. Huh? A-Train enjoyed it. A-Train enjoyed it because he got 2 championships off of their back.
Yeah, off of their back. But they still won 6 titles in however many amount of years. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes you just have to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? I'm enjoying, like I said, I'm enjoying watching Kansas City. 5, went to Super Bowl, 5 different times in the last 6 years? It's crazy. Been to the AFC almost every year. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to enjoy. Like at some point, you have to just sit back and be like, dang, like this team is.
It's good for football. Can we agree or not that it's not good for that is good for football? You got to look back to the course of NFL's history. There's always been a dominant team during some decade. Dallas in the 90s, the 49ers in the 80s. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 70s. It's always been somebody that's just been super dominant. And somebody loved to hate them, and somebody loved their team. You know what I mean? Boys in blue, it gets old. Boys in blue? Tell me how it gets old, man. I mean, who is your team? And let me know who your team is, where you're from. That way we can figure out why is it getting old? Because if you're a fan, he must be a fan of maybe the Raiders. You a Raiders fan? Oh no, Boys in Blue. Maybe is he a Giants fan?
It sounds like it, but I mean, I ain't gonna sit here, and say he's a Giants.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
I mean, because the Giants had their run too. So I mean, the late '80s, early '90s, and then of course the 2000s. Y'all had a couple. Y'all had 4 championships, man. I mean, so it's everybody had. Look, I'm from New Orleans. I bleed black and gold. We got 1 championship, and then we got that to hang our hat on. That's it. Let me see, Kyle. Oh, man, everybody thinks y'all don't. Man, Cowboys fans are such I mean, no hate against you, brother, but everybody thinks the Cowboys. Only the Cowboys fans would say that it gets old. Y'all think y'all going to the championship every year, man, every year, and y'all ain't won nothing since '93. Excuse me, '95. I'll give you a shout out. '95, '96, something like that, with Deion Sanders and what's the coach name that came out of Oklahoma after Jimmy Johnson? What think about it, Kev? Who is it?
I know you're talking about
Barry Switzer. Barry Switzer.
Yeah.
And he says, "Not me, not me." That is so funny, man. Look, I really Cowboys had their run. But you got a owner like Jerry Jones, man, that just won't give it up. He won't let the reins go. I mean, let's talk about Jerry Jones, right? Owners need to retire. Absolutely. I don't think as an owner he should retire, but at least as a GM, give the position up, man, to somebody young, somebody that's gonna relate to the players, or maybe that's not a player's GM, but somebody that's gonna do the job, man. Look, don't get me wrong, Jerry Jones. I can't take credit away from him. He's had some decent runs with players, man. I remember in the early 2000s with Tony Romo, they had like 13 Pro Bowlers on one of them years on players, but they couldn't get over the hump. They couldn't win. Tony Romo had like two playoff wins. Come on, man. I mean, and Jerry Jones, if he can just give up that job there, own your team, I don't blame him. That's the most. What I want to say, that is as the team that has worth the most money. It makes the most money out of every team in the league because everybody and their mama knows Dallas Cowboys. You may not even know a lot about football, but you know who the Cowboys are. That's because they've always been around. They are America's team. I don't know if that moniker still holds true for them, but they are America's team. But they just haven't won. They haven't won like America's team. Right now, Kansas City's America's team. Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, I have me personally, I have no problem with Kansas City at all. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, I'm the biggest Kansas City fan. But I'm not sitting here gonna sit here and about their about what's going on, about how they're playing. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like Kansas City is just this. Oh, they're getting all the calls. Oh, they're getting. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, because like I said, you can beat this team. You just have to go out there and beat them. Like, you can't sit here. Like I said, that's why I tell you, you can't sit here and harp on the refs. Because the moment you keep doing that, you're gonna lose the game.
Absolutely. Tasha Mika Howard said Pro Bowlers ain't bringing championships. You're right about that. They're not. And we go back to my Boys in Blue. He said Pro Bowlers, no rings. That's true. I agree, man. No rings. Let's hold on. No rings lately. Let's put it that way. Again, everything's about perspective. Like Kev, I mean, no rings lately, man. Come on. You guys have how many rings? What, 6? 5, 6? Dallas? Don't get me wrong. They got dust on them now. They might be tarnishing a bit, but you still got rings. I mean, and Kev, I don't mean to put you out there like that, but Falcons, they haven't got a ring yet. Yeah. I mean, one of us only got 1 ring. Between me and Kev, we got 1 ring. Yeah. And Tasha Mika Doss Howard says facts. Look, right now, let me see. No rings in 29 years. Yeah, brother. I'm feeling you. Saints starting to get close to that too. Look, we got to go to commercial. We got to give pay homage to people that pay the bills around here. That's Huddle Sports. When we come back, we're going to talk about the potential winners for MVPs and all the hardware that's coming out this particular weekend, or I think what is it, Monday or Tuesday? Kev? When are they coming out?
I think Tuesday. If I'm
Tuesday,
no,
yeah. So
yeah,
it'll be
Tuesday.
Monday or Tuesday, something like that. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the awards and who we think should win that hardware, and get into a debate about that, and then talk about, towards the end, my team, the Saints, the last team that doesn't have a head coach. We'll be right back.
Oh, yeah.
Introducing National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk programming that you can access 24/7. For the premier sports talk experience, tap into our Roku channel. Start your mornings with Mac and Jack covering all the weekend sports action. Then pour a cup and enjoy all the sports you can drink on the Coffee and Sports podcast. At midday, talk sports from east to west on the Coast to Coast podcast. Followed at night by some hot girl talk with Prim and Proper Sports featuring Sonia Pearson. Talk boxing on the Gloved Fist. Yankee fans tune in for Start Spreading the News. And there's more on the College Sports Huddle and Sports Scope with Robert Butler. There are 20 podcasts in all and 70 weekly shows giving us a 3.4-star viewer rating. To find us on Roku TV, search for National Streaming Sports on the Roku search bar. Click on the logo and you're in. National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk for America.
Welcome back. Thank you all for chiming in. I hope everybody's watching and enjoying the show right now. This is Prim and Proper Sports, Friday night with the fellas at 9 p.m. You can catch us on YouTube. Remember to like and subscribe, and also Roku. Download the app and catch us. We are under the National Stream Sports. Mac, the CEO with National Stream Sports, with a whole bunch of channels. You just heard it just there. Of course, we're Prim and Proper, and you can also catch us on Facebook and IG or Instagram. Let me see. We have 6 rings. Yes, Boys in Blue. Yes, you got 6 rings, man. That hardware is unreal. I don't care how old it gets. You can't take that away. You won 6 championships, my man. And like you said, you hadn't been there in 29 years, but you got an opportunity to get there. You got your coach, Scheidenheimer. I don't know how good that's getting. I don't know what you feel. Let me know how you feel about that Scheidenheimer coaching call there. A lot of people aren't really excited about it. Pink fan says Saquon gonna ball in the Super Bowl. Pink, I agree with you. I think everything is going well. Hey, everybody! Sonia says aloha. She just landed, so she made it safe to Hawaii. Send a shout out if you guys want to show some love. Chime in and send a shout out to Sonia and happy birthday to her. She's out there celebrating her birthday. Look, I think Dallas. Just to chime in on that again, Kev. What do you think about their hire with Scheidenheimer, from hiring within and not picking some coach, getting rid of a coach that probably would have given them he gave 12-5 in three seasons, and probably would have given them another chance had they not been bitten by the injury bug, another chance to get to the playoffs, and also people like let's go back a little bit. People like Jimmy Johnson had to part ways with him because he wasn't no Duke boy. Also, Bill Parcells, not a Duke boy. Clearly, these are guys that are dominant alpha dogs that need their space, and Jerry Jones wouldn't give them that space. But people like this guy that you got coming in, do you think he's going to be a Duke boy, or do you think he has his opportunity to come in and then show what he can really do from an offensive coordinator to a head coach?
I mean, when you look at the hire, it's not a sexy hire. So that's why people are like, okay, Jerry Jones has definitely got his handprints all over this. Because you went from Mike McCarthy, who you had spending the night at your mansion. You know, you were falling in love, gushing all over, the offense that he was going to run and all this. To now it's, you got some guy who was hot on the coaching market years ago, but it died off because his offenses got stagnant and stuff like that. Now, we have total belief in this guy and all this, that, and the third. It's like, Jerry, we know what time it is. Like, a lot of guys were sitting here deflecting and saying, nah, I don't want this job unless you're going to give me power. You know, because you had the opportunity to get the, you said no, thank you. You had an
Absolutely.
opportunity to get other court coaches.
Absolutely.
You said no, thank you. Hell, it was guys, you know, guys that was probably like, you know, I'll take the job. You know, like maybe the guy, you know, what's his name, Ben Johnson and stuff like that. There were the hot coaches that was like, man, it's the Cowboys, but they didn't even want to interview with you. You know what I'm saying? Because they already knew, like, bro, I can't even. How am I gonna run what I want to run? You know, or how am I gonna, you know, how I'm gonna have my handprints on this roster when I got this old man up here telling me like, oh, this is what we're gonna do, this boom, boom, boom. Like the whole thing with Cooper Rush last year when you benched him in that last game of the season for $500K showed me everything. Because you put in
I'm with
Trey
you there.
Lance. Because you put in Trey Lance, and I like Trey Lance. I hope Trey Lance can turn his career around, but you put in him for what? You know,
Absolutely. And it looks like the Carolina Pantherettes, our fearless founder and leader, celebrating her 50th. We love you, Sonia Pearson. Man, let me tell you, I wasn't going to put that out there like that because, you know, as being married 22 years, my man, you don't shout out no woman's age online. But since everybody put it out there, we want to send it. It's not me. It's not Kev-O saying it. We're going to say happy 50th birthday to Sonia. And we love you. I hope you're doing well out there. And like you say, she just let us know she just landed. We hope you're doing well, you know, and be safe out there and have a lot of fun. Aloha.
Aloha.
Look, man, you're talking about a guy that's got a stronghold on that organization. He can't let go of the leadership. He's not going to let go. He don't want to lose the limelight. He's always in the limelight talking. If I'm a coach or a potential head coach, that's probably not a destination I want to go to, because I know if I'm somebody that want to do things my way, it's really not that way. We're gonna bump heads. I don't have a really good chance of succeeding out there because you're always in the way. I need you to give me the space to allow me to do things that I need to do to be successful, especially for my team. Like I think the situation is going to be, you mentioned the guy, Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson was able to go. He was a guy that he was not like one team. He was looking for one team and hoping to go find that team. He had a selection. He can go wherever he wanted to go because he was 33 points, 33.1 points. His offense led the league. And he was you can see the offensive scheme. He was an innovator. He was doing tricks out there. They were doing all kind of stuff out there, man. It just couldn't get past the hump because their defense just wasn't all that great with the injuries that they had. But again, Ben Johnson probably wouldn't have wanted to come to Dallas. Even with the talent that's there, he wouldn't have wanted to come because of Jerry Jones. And you mentioned you wanted to talk about coaching. I know you were laughing earlier because I said let's talk about the last team that doesn't have a head coach, and that just happened to be my team, the Saints. Right now, it seems to be a little bit of a running joke right now because they had a couple of coaches said, "Nah, no thanks for no thanks." We're talking about Aaron Glenn. He decided he took the road to where he started from with the New York Jets. And I don't blame him for that. I'm not going to blame Aaron Glenn for that, man. I think there was a rumor, let's put it out there, there was a rumor that he wouldn't want to come back to the Saints because he wouldn't want to deal with the GM and president in Mickey Loomis. And Mickey Loomis has made some bad calls with some of the draft picks, the first round draft picks he's made in the past few years. He's hit some home runs too, but lately he's been hitting more duds than anything. And having had to fire Dennis Allen, they're having a hard time right now finding the coach. But I will say they went out to go look to talk to the potential Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore. And right now, they had 2 interviews, and they got another interview with them after the Super Bowl, win or lose. So right now, he's considered the leading candidate for that team, and hopefully gets that job. But I want to ask you, not as a biased Falcons fan, but as a lover of the game, What is your opinion on this situation, and what do you think is going to happen with particular potential hire of Kellen Moore?
You know, people like, people been talking about the whole Kirk Cousins thing, and it's warranted, But when I look at our cap situation, we're not in cap hell. And I say that to say the Saints are in cap hell, unfortunately. And it's going to be a lot of digging and trying to get out of that cap hell for teams to be like, for coaches to be like, hey, that seems like it's a good destination to go to. You know what I'm saying? So with y'all, from what I've heard, it's like what 60 million over the cap?
Not right now. Right now, we are at 52.
52?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of money over the cap. So it's like, okay, what am I going to be able to bring in? The roster is already what the roster is. I mean, Derek Carr, I don't know what y'all going to do with Derek Carr. I don't know if y'all going to keep him. Y'all going to.
I'll let you know when you finish. But yeah, I'll let you know.
So that's another. And it's like, okay, even if you do let him walk, who's going to be my quarterback? And it's like, okay, yeah, we got some solid receivers, but who's going to get it to these receivers? I got Alvin Kamara. Yeah, Alvin Kamara's a solid running back. I'm not going to sit here and lie. You got an aging Cam Jordan. Your DBs are, some of the I'm going to lie, your DBs are decent. They're not phenomenal, but they're decent.
Right.
Tyrann Mathieu, he's getting up there in age. Demario Davis, he's a solid linebacker. So I look at the team and I'm just like, in the totality, and it's like, bro, like this is not a favorable destination to go to, especially like I said, you don't have the key piece, and that's a quarterback. You don't know, it's in limbo. And then the offensive line has been pretty much patchwork. Guys have been in and out, injured and stuff like that. So, and then you got a pretty good solid draft pick to where you can probably bring in somebody decent. You got draft picks, especially with that Lattimore trade. So, like I said, it's just not a sexy place to be like, hey, that's where I want to go coach at. And, that's where I can go, even if I don't last long here in this with this team.
Right.
It's not a good resume to put on your resume. It's not something good to put on your resume that, I was with the Saints. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree with mostly everything of you saying there. I think they always figure out a way to get the cap, like you said, under wraps. So they get it underneath. They're going to do the same thing here. But there's a potential for Derek Carr. I mean, they said that one of the rumors or the things that was said from Kellen Moore was that he wasn't too pleased about the quarterback situation in New Orleans. And but they can work with that, because I think the key is to allow or afford Kellen Moore a year or two to build, because 2025 is looking to be not a good year for them. Another not good year because of where they are, like you said, with the cap, where they are with the aging players, where they are with the injury-prone players, and where they are with the quarterback situation. You have a young quarterback that they can work with in Spencer Rattler. I think time will tell with him, and I think in regards to protecting him and developing him. Not all rookie quarterbacks are going to have a Jaden Daniel year. There's a reason that Spencer Rattler was drafted in the 5th round and not the 1st round. So, but he still has the potential to be in a revisionist draft to be maybe a 2nd round draft pick, or 3rd, or high 3rd, or low 2nd, something like that. But somebody, you got to remember, a lot of people don't know this, but Drew Brees was drafted in the 2nd round.
Oh yeah, I mean, I knew. I mean, he was high 2nd round. Though. He wasn't like
he was high, yes, but again, he wasn't. I mean, when we talk about quarterbacks that are like potential Hall of Famers, we're usually in our mindset that with the measurables and what they've done in college, usually top 10.
But Drew, the thing is with Drew is, Drew just didn't have the height.
No, of course not. But Drew was a stud. He was a stud in Purdue.
At Purdue, if he was 6'3", he would have went 1st round.
Yeah, absolutely.
but he was 6 foot, 5'11", 6 foot. It's like, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
But he worked hard.
He worked
Drew
hard.
he is an overachiever for sure. A lot of people don't realize that because a lot of people who don't know football probably would have think, by the way he played, that he was a first rounder. Yeah, but Drew second rounder, yeah. But Spencer Rattler, to me, I see some of the same measurables and the talent, man. There, he just needs a better line and in some respects, some better decision making as well. But in regards to the Saints, they, like you said, they got a number 9 draft pick, and that they should pick the best available. I wouldn't reach for a quarterback because there's only really 2 known quarterbacks right now that are available that are really, like, to me, that are like should be a sure thing when you draft them. And we're talking about Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward.
Yeah.
But after that, it's a mixed bag, and to me, they're second round, third, fourth, fifth round draft choices. But the Saints have opportunities. They're probably going to have to cut some ties with some old vets, particularly on defense. And Cam Jordan might be one of those guys, man, if he don't take a pay cut, because you can see he's long in the tooth, and it's going to be it's time. And that's my dude. I always loved Cam. Obviously, he's a Hall of Famer at some point. And Double D Davis, Demario Davis, and Tyrann Mathieu. These guys are older guys, man, that probably should at some point think about hanging it up, or they got to get rid of. Even Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's about to be 35, man. He's coming off an ACL tear. So he don't have that same 4.3 speed like he had at one time. And they had him playing fullback and tight end and stuff, tearing the dude. He was already injury prone. So everything's going to be different for Kellen Moore if he comes to New Orleans. And I think he's going to come in with his game plan. One of the things that people said, like, there's a connection with him and Ashton Genty at, both at Boise State. If he comes there, maybe he drafts him and kind of, looks to do the same thing with him, what they did with Saquon there. But they definitely got to get a better offensive line. Wish they got 2 nice bookends, but they need some guard play. So we look to draft a left guard, maybe a right guard. And, man, let me tell you, we need a wide receiver as well. So maybe they can get McMillan at the 9th, which I think he's probably going to go higher than that.
Yeah.
Out of Arizona.
Arizona, yeah, I know.
For sure.
I think the Giants probably going to pick him.
Probably, or they might pick Sanders, or if I'm the Giants, man, I'm going to get one of those top 3 dudes. But are they picking 5th? Are they picking 5th or 3rd?
4th, I believe.
Okay. Oh yeah, you definitely get one of them dudes, man. Well, look, we got about 13 minutes left. Let's go into the picks of the awards, man. I want to get your I want to pick your brain about that and see where you are. Let's start with the MVP, and I'll tell you who's up for it, and then you go tell me your pick and tell me why. So Lamar Jackson for MVP, Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Joe Burrow, and Jared Goff. Who are you picking out of those guys and why?
Josh, I gotta go with Josh Allen. I mean, I want to say Lamar. Lamar had a great year. Don't get me wrong. Lamar had a great, phenomenal year. But I'm going with Josh Allen for the simple fact is he was the most valuable for his team. You lose your number 1 receiver, I think your stats plummet. You can't sit here and tell me like, okay, Lamar Jackson loses Andrews and his numbers just get better. No, this man lost Stephon Diggs, a preliminary, one of the best receivers in the game, and his numbers just increased. Yards, touchdowns, touchdown to interception ratio. He wasn't turning the ball over as much. He led his team to the number 2 team in the AFC. I gotta give it to Josh Allen. That's just my personal preference.
Pink fans, we know who our pick is. We see it's Saquon, and I wouldn't be mad at it if he won, but I'm not going to pick Saquon here. I'm going to pick Lamar Jackson. Yeah. I think he's going to get his 3rd one. I just picked Lamar, man, because, look, a lot of times I go with what you just said. Josh Allen made his other players better around him. When he lost his top guy, he made the other guys, he made them elevate and rise up. Mm-hmm. Lamar didn't always have that either, what he had this year. But when I saw Derrick Henry get 1,900 yards, Derrick Henry the last year, following year, a lot of people thought he fell off a little bit, and he didn't have nowhere near that. But a lot of people said that Derrick Henry made Lamar Jackson's season a lot better, but I think it's the other way around. I think Lamar, once he got a player like that, and he was able to do RPO, it gave Derrick Henry, at a 30-year-old player, have more room not to have everybody on him because they got to account for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
and Lamar threw,
I said that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And so Lamar had an outstanding year as well because they still got to account for Derrick Henry too. So they both helped each other. I mean, Lamar had his best numbers. He had 4,172 yards in passing, 41 TDs, bro.
Yeah.
Passing 41
and four interceptions.
And 4 interceptions, man, which is outstanding.
That's outrageous.
And then on top of that, he added 915 rushing yards.
That's outrageous.
The first person to ever do that with 4,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And he had 4 TDs rushing. So that's why I got to give it to Lamar. Even if he didn't win in the playoffs, I got to give it to him, man, for that. What do you think for Defensive Player of the Year? We got Zach Bond, Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson, Pat Surtain II, and TJ Watt.
I mean, that's really a tough award to really. I mean,
that is.
He probably got to go with Zach Bond. He played great.
That's crazy. Yes. Go ahead. Tell me why.
He played great. I mean, just the tackles. I mean, my man was all over the field. I mean, he looked like Luke Kuechly. I was like,
what did the Saints do, man? They had to do it in the wrong position. Where was he at?
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. But I knew I told A-Train he was that guy when we drafted him in the 3rd round. I said, this dude had 12 sacks for Wisconsin, man, his senior year. I said, but what are we doing with him? We ain't doing nothing. We had him in the wrong position.
This is what I would say, though. When you got Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, he's running free.
Right.
He ain't got to worry about that guard. He ain't got to worry about that pulling guard. He ain't got to worry about that tackle. He ain't got to worry about none of that. He's running free out there.
Shout out to Yoni. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Look, Zach Bond I picked him too. That's funny you said that. I picked him too, man. He had 151 tackles, 151, 3.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, and an interception. So yes, that's what I picked for my defensive player of the year, and I think he's gonna get it. I really think he's gonna get it. Look, offensive player of the year: Saquon Barkley, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry, and Lamar Jackson. But and one before you pick, shout out to Ms. Doss Howard. She picked TJ Watt. I don't know. That's kind of an easy pick. I'm gonna say that because she's a Steelers fan all day. Look, he's got it. He's won it a couple of times, hasn't he? He's won it a couple of times. Yeah. He's deserving, but I just think that Zach Bond's probably gonna get it this year because he had been. He just flipped a switch with a whole other team, and he's lights out. And Surtain, Roll Tide. Oh yeah, she got to pick Pat Surtain. But look, who you got for the offensive player of the year?
Looking at this more, it's got to be a team award. But I like Jamar Chase, Triple Crown, receptions, touchdowns. I mean, he was straight up phenomenal all season. But
he was a dog.
Yeah, but you got to give it to Saquon. But it's got to be Saquon because of the year that the Eagles are having. So Saquon is probably gonna win it. But my pick would be Jamar Chase.
Let me tell you, man. And Yoli, we hope you're doing well out there. We're doing fine. I think Kev's doing good. Seems like it, my man.
Yeah.
Look, I have for the offensive player of the year, I got Saquon because he didn't get the MVP. 2,000 yards is just nothing to sneeze at, man. And it's hard to do it from behind the line. And he almost got if they let him play the last game of the season, he would have broke the all-time season record. Oh, yeah. I don't know why they didn't do it, but it didn't happen. And I don't think he'll ever get to that point again because it's hard to rush for 2,000 yards twice in a year. So, but especially later in your career. Like Eric Dickerson rushed for 1,900 yards his rookie season, and I think he still holds that record. And he rushed for 2,105 yards the second year. But that's early in his career. So this is hard to do it once you get older. But yeah, I like Saquon to win the offensive player of the year. Now, for offensive rookie of the year, Brock Bowers, Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, shout out A-Train, the Giants, Bo Nix, and Brian Thomas Jr., and shout out to LSU players. There's 3 of them in there, in that mix. I'm going to go, for me, this is my pick, I'm going with Jaden Daniels. I mean, his numbers were eerily similar. I think he's a similar player to Lamar Jackson. And I think Jaden, I mean, he had like 3,500 yards, 25 TDs, 9 interceptions, and 861 yards rushing and 6 TDs. Just unbelievable for a rookie. And that team, I didn't think they were going to do anything, man. I didn't think he was going to do anything that year. Oh, stop the presses. Saw you shouting out. What you say? Hey guys, just landed, and thanks for everything, love, and appreciate you all. And Pink, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. We love you, sis, and be safe. And again, since everybody said happy 50th, 5 decades of living is something special, I'll be there in March.
Yeah. But Jaden Daniels, enough said, you know.
Yeah, you go for Jaden too. I'm with you. So we got about 4 minutes. Let's cover the rest of these. Defensive player of the year. And she said Daniels too. Ms. Doss Howard said Daniels. Yes, we all in agreement here. Defensive player of the year, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, 2 players for the Eagles up for this award. Chop Robinson, Braden Fisk, and Jared Verse, 2 other players for another team for the Rams. It's impressive to see this like this. But I got to go with Jared Verse. I think he's just been dominant on that defensive line, and I think the future is bright for him. And I think he's going to continue what he's doing, but I think he's going to get defensive rookie of the year. What you think?
I agree, Jared Verse. That's the guy I wanted the Falcons to draft, but outside of Michael Penix, you know. But Jared Verse, without question, he was phenomenal all year.
For sure. Yeah. Comeback player of the year, Joe Burrow, Sam Darnold, J.K. Dobbins, Christian Gonzalez for the Patriots, and DeMar Hamlin for the. I'll let you pick this one first. DeMar Hamlin for the Bills.
Joe Burrow, I mean, come off a wrist injury, and then you just had a type of year that you had. I mean, you had career, you know.
He was number 1 in everything.
Like, you know,
4,900 yards, 43 TDs. I mean, minimal interceptions. I mean, he killed it. I mean, yes. What did he throw for? Yes. It was 4,918, 43 TDs and 9 interceptions. This is unreal, bro. I agree with you. And I think he's comeback player of the year. Coach of the year. We got Dan Campbell, Kevin O'Connell, Sean Payton, Dan Quinn, and Andy Reid. What you got?
Oh, Falcon. DQ. I got to go with DQ, the brotherhood, baby.
Man, we on the road, brother, because I think the same thing. That team wasn't supposed to be anything. Yeah. And he turned it around with that team, man. I mean, defensively, offensively, and you know he's a defensive stud as far as a coordinator. So I know that defense, as skimpy as it was with the players, they held up pretty good for the year. And I think Dan Quinn deserves that award. If he doesn't win it, because he's robbed. What you all think out there? Now we got 2 more minutes. Let's see here. Assistant of the year, Joe Brady, Vic Fangio, Aaron Glenn, and Ben Johnson.
Vic Fangio. I'll go with Vic Fangio because when you look at that Eagles defense the year before to where they are now, I mean, they were like almost dead last year.
Right.
The fiscal cut. They would bring in Mike Patricia. They brought in all these different defense coordinators, try to fix this defense. He came in there, and their defenses just looked flat out phenomenal all year. So I got to go with Vic Fangio.
Okay, cool. I am picking Ben Johnson because I guess I'm always a lover of offense, and I like to see different schemes that come out and just blow team great defense out of the water. And Ben Johnson for the Lions, they just did that, man. He had a lot of great players at his helm, but man, he just did. His scheme was just totally different, and I think he's going to do the same thing in Chicago with Caleb Williams and the rest of those crew that's there. Look, we less than a minute. Kev, it's been great, man, and everybody out there, we appreciate you chiming in. It's always a wonderful night at Friday Night with the Fellas. We'll be here every Friday night at 9 p.m. And next week we should have Anthony A. Train Fernandez and Kev. You gonna be at them next week?
Yeah, I think I should be in.
Yes, because again, it's Super Bowl weekend. I'm gonna be in New Orleans. Coincidentally, my family's down there. That's where I'm from. So we'll be down there, and we should have a great time around that time, Friday night with the fellas, talking about the Super Bowl and everything else going on in the NFL. Thank you all for chiming in, and we'll see you next week. Have a good night.
Oh, yeah.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.